and welcome back to IvyMoves. My name is Ivona and today we're having another juicy vinyasa flow to strengthen and stretch the whole body. So when you're ready, you're gonna need your mat. I'll see you there. Let's start in a comfortable seated position. Feel free to adapt as you need, placing cushion, block, bolster under your thighs, under your hips. Strengthening the spine, closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Now let's take just a couple moments to arrive. So often we rush straight into the physical practice. And if you only take these couple moments to ground before that, it's really gonna make a difference in the intention, in the awareness with which we move our physical body to access our energetic potential, to observe our emotional state today, to create or release energy. So let's feel this arrival, feeling the weight of your sitting bones towards the ground, the contact points of your feet, maybe the sides of the feet, maybe their soles or the top of the foot. The weight of your shoulders down your body, the slow rise of your chest when you inhale, and the falling down when you exhale. The temperature of the breath when it goes in through the nose, and the way it changes when you exhale through the nose. Softening the jaw, the forehead, the temples, feeling the temperature of the air on your skin. And let's take a couple deep breaths to bring awareness into our breathing. Let's just take a deep breath in and a strong cleansing breath out. Through the mouth. 2 more times. Deep breath in and through the mouth exhale. One last. Inhale, filling the lungs, the chest, the belly, and through the mouth, everything out. Staying with the eyes closed, it is comfortable for you. Let's do a few rounds of controlled pranayama. I'm going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 7. Make sure that the chest, the diaphragm are open. Take the pace that's most comfortable for you. And let's begin. Just take a deep breath in. Exhale, release everything. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last one. In, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take a normal breath in. Notice if there's any difference in your breath from the moment you started. And when you're ready, let's blink the eyes open. Welcome back. Let's stay in this comfortable seated position. If you are not here, meet me with your legs easily crossed in front of you. And let's start warming up the spine, sending the chest forward and back. Just very gently waking up the spine. Seated cat-cow. Coordinating with the breath. Inhale as you open the chest. Exhale as you round the back. Take it as fast or as slow as you need to. Maybe start making circles, sending the chest to the left, passing through the front, opening the core bones, going to the right and tucking the chin in, rounding the back. 2 more circles to this side. Take it really slow, savor the movement. Try to coordinate with the breath, opening, receiving, and closing to let go. 1 last circle. Meet me at the center on the back, and let's start twisting to the opposite direction. Maybe this one is different, maybe it's not. Maybe it's easier since you warmed up the other side. 1 last circle. And coming back to center. Hands towards the sky, left palm finds the ground. Right arm makes a rainbow on top of us. Try to push the right hip towards the ground. Sending the chest towards the sky, opening the side body. Breathe into the right ribs. And now the right palm is going to find the left knee. And you're going to twist towards the left. The left hand is behind you. And coming back to center, the other side, both hands towards the sky. Right palm finds the ground. Left palm makes a rainbow on top of us. Like somebody's pulling you with your hand further away from you. And somebody's pushing your hips closer to the ground, like they're glued. And left palm on the right knee, right hand behind us, twisting towards the right. And coming back to center. Let's open the legs in our diamond shape, in our butterfly. And just start moving here. Get cat-cow, sending the chest forward, sending the knees away from you, warming up a little bit the hips, maybe engaging to the toes, flexing them. And now right palm is going to find the inside of the right knee, the left goes behind you, twisting towards the left, look above the left shoulder, and the right palm is pushing the right knee away from you. Coming back to center, changing sides, left palm on top of the left knee, twisting towards the right, look on top of the right shoulder, left palm is pushing the knee towards the ground. And coming back to center, left leg is going to stay as this, right knee comes up, and on the inside of that left leg, in our 99th position, twisting towards the left as far as you can, right palm is on the outside of the left knee. Coming back to center, twisting towards the right. This one is a bit harder. Perfect. 1 more time each side, twisting to the side, come back to center, and the opposite direction. Okay, changing sides, maybe with or without the hands. Now you're looking towards the right leg, left leg is behind you, twisting towards the right, using that left palm as a lever on the right knee to twist it even deeper, and twisting towards the left. 1 more time, looking behind that right shoulder, sending your gaze as far back as possible. Come back looking towards the left. and release. Coming back with the legs in the air, and let's just do a couple windshield wipers to wake up the hip joints before we start with our standing sequence. And center, wherever you are in your mat, let's face the front of the mat in our tabletop. And let's do a couple of shoulder circles just to wake up the shoulder joint, changing direction. And push yourself into your first down dog of this practice. Walk it out. Intuitive movement is always an option for you. If there's anything you need to modify, to intensify, to bring the intensity down, feel free. If your heels are on the ground, try to lift the toes of the feet. This way you can prolongate the back muscles of your legs even more, pushing the hips actively towards the sky, spreading the fingers of your palms to maximize the base for the balance. We spend so much time on yoga and our palms, so let's use the most out of them. They're small anyway. Perfect. Now we're gonna look between your palms, start walking forward, and hang loose. Here you can just hug the elbows, placing your head between them. You can hug the calves and try to push yourself even closer to the calves. Walking is also an option, or even tucking these palms under the feet if you have the space. Stretching the whole back chain of the body, trying to extend the knee, sending the sitting bones towards the sky, using gravity to decompress our spine. Gently release if your hands were under your feet and slowly roll yourself to standing. Placing the palms in front of your heart, connect with your heartbeat, just observe and use it as your anchor to come back to every time your mind starts wandering around. Just notice how quick or slow it beats in that moment, and can we do something to change it? Perfect. From here, let's bend our knees into chair pose. I'm gonna stay here for 3 deep breaths. Make sure to squeeze the thighs together. The tailbone is neutral, it's not too much out, too much in. The arms can be in front of the chest if this is too hard. And then we're going to twist palms in front of the heart, but we're gonna make it active. So we're gonna just twist to the left without tucking the elbow on the outside of the knee and coming back. 4 more times. Look behind that left shoulder, come back to center. 2 more times, maybe it gets easier every time with the warm up. And the 5th time you're gonna hold. Now you're gonna take that right elbow on the outside of the left knee, twisting, make sure that the knees stay in the same line. And from here, look towards the feet, bend that right leg and slowly start sending it towards the sky and back into your twisted crescent lunge. Staying here. Now you're gonna remain twisted. You're gonna get up in an active twist. Again, look towards that left hand if that's available to you. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, and that left hand is gonna find the right back side of the leg. Open the chest. Feel that length from the foot to the tips of the fingers. And now that right palm is gonna come on the inside of the left leg. Twist towards the sky. And get ready to come into horizontal lunge. So the toes are all turned to the sides. You're on the outer edge of your left leg, on the outer edge of your right leg. And from here, maybe you can brace yourself, coming into side plank. Lift that left leg. 3, 2, 1, step it behind you, hip dunk towards the ground, and open for wild thing. Hold, push the hips up. 3, 2, 1. Coming back through side plank. Stepping that left leg slowly, slowly, slowly to the top of the mat. Low lunge and lizard. Shimmy that left foot on the outside of the left hand. Maybe even tuck the right toes under. And let's spend some time here with some intuitive movement. Maybe you can rock back and forth. If the elbows are available to you, maybe you can lower onto them. Also placing a block under these elbows if you're still working towards that depth. Seriously, the only condition here is that you don't feel pain in your joints. You feel this like nice work, nice stretch, but not pain, right? Staying here for a little bit more. Optional as well, releasing that right knee onto the ground, reaching with the left hand, twisting, and if it's available for you, or using a strap, bringing that right foot closer to the glute. It's such a win-win-win, this stretch. Opening the shoulder, twisting the spine, and opening the hips, the front thigh. Optional this as well, for you to be on your palm. If it's too far from you on the elbow, gently releasing, don't let it swing back. And then we're gonna go into Malasana. So come into your palms, brace yourself all the way onto the left foot, and step that right leg forward into Malasana. If this is not available for you this morning, place a blanket, a cushion, anything under your heels to elevate them. You can also just shimmy from side to side to create that space in order to squat low. And if you're here, let's try to open the shoulders. The right hand stretches in front of the right knee. The right knee opens that right shoulder, press into it, and maybe binding the hands behind that right hip. Coming back to center, changing sides, extend that left hand, the left knee is pushing to the left knee. The left knee is pushing to that left elbow, and maybe binding from behind. Releasing, coming back to center, and slowly sending the hips towards the sky. And coming up as gracefully as you would like, palms in front of the heart. And this is your anchor, your heartbeat. How fast or how slow it is this morning. How loud can you hear it? Okay, let's do the other side. Opening the eyes, coming to chair pose. We're gonna hold that for 3 deep breaths. So brace yourself before we start twisting. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder. We've warmed the body, but we've also been here once. And palms in front of the heart, twisting towards the right. Look behind that right shoulder, coming back to center, actively using the muscles of our core to twist us. Number 3, make sure that the knees stay in the same line. 4, coming back, and on the 5th you're gonna hold, squeezing the inner thighs and tucking that left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Look towards the sky, and now look towards the feet, sending the whole weight into the right foot, left foot towards the glute, extending to the back and to the mat into twisted crescent lunge. Staying here for 1 deep breath. And slowly raise into an active twist. The hands are spread horizontal to the ground, looking towards that right hand if it's available for you. Make sure not to compromise the front knee. Bend it generously. Right hand finds the back of the left thigh. opening the side body while twisting. I don't even know what is this. Is it a chest opener? Is it a twist? Is it all of it? But it feels really good. And coming back into high lunge. And from here, left palm finds the ground on the inside of the right leg. Twist again with the right hand towards the sky. So many twists in such a little space. The legs are in the same position, but the body can find so many angles to twist itself. Now going to horizontal, coming on the outer edges of both feet, flexing the toes, maybe sending that right hand towards the back of the mat. Breathing deep, feel it where you need to feel it. And now bracing yourself for that side plank, engaging that left leg. The right leg joins it. Hold it here. If your wrists are not able to support this weight today, you can always come onto your elbow, lifting that right knee towards the sky, slowly stepping behind you, hips towards the ground, and opening the chest towards the sky for wild thing. Press from the hips, extend that left leg, and coming through plank, right knee towards the chest, and slowly, slowly, slowly step into the front of the mat, into lizard. Take the variation that you need here. It may be different from the variation you did the first time. Maybe I'm gonna come onto my elbows. I've been working a lot into hip mobility, which involves both strength and stretch, because for so many years of my practice, the splits are still not available for me. And even though the asana is not the goal, it's just great to set a goal in order to be intentional, to have more awareness, to observe the way the body changes. And I really have no rush, but I've just come to really appreciate these deep, deep, deep hip openers. Really getting ready for the twist, whether you're on your elbow or on your palm. Slowly placing the right knee on the ground. Placing the left knee onto the ground, reaching back with the right hand, grabbing the foot, and opening all these sticky spots from the thigh to the back, that right shoulder. Maybe you want to kick with the foot away from you, activating the glute, or really pull with that arm, the foot closer to the sitting bones. And slowly release, coming back to lizard, and we're gonna step into malasana on top of our mats. Perfect. Let's stay here a little bit more, using your elbows to open the hips. And now let's open to the other side. Let's go into pigeon. So you're gonna just send, we're not gonna make it any fancy, sending the hip towards the sky, left foot behind, right leg comes into pigeon. Now the thing with the shin parallel, it's really, I've already seen this happening. I don't know to how many people it's even accessible. So just make sure that your right foot is somewhere in front of that left hip. Tuck the back toes, squaring the hips towards the front of the mat. And you can stay standing with your body up. Obviously, you can always tuck a block or a blanket under that right hip so it's less much in the air. And you can lower into your elbows if that's comfortable for you, or completely surrender and tucking the back toes, using the weight of your body onto that right hip. It's particularly sticky and sore for me today. So it's gonna take a couple of very deep breaths to unstuck, to create space, to breathe out all the tension that has been collected here. Optional twist. Since we start with the twists, you're gonna reach with that left hand towards the right, placing that left ear onto the ground, and maybe the right hand comes behind you and finds that foot, opening that right shoulder, pushing it behind you, breathing. You can obviously stay in classical pigeon. It just intensifies the stretch here into the hip. One last deep breath in and releasing. Now before we switch sides, let's stay here a little bit more. Finding balance with that right hand, could be on a block, could be on your knee, on the ground. Reaching back with the left hand for that right foot. Options here, you can just stay like that and kick with that left leg behind, opening the shoulder and the thigh. You can start bringing that elbow towards the sky. The fingers are spread and they're going to start facing towards you for just another deep, deep front thigh stretch. And of course, mermaid if it's available for you here. Clasping the hands on top of that left shoulder. And maybe after a couple of breaths, you can try for that king pigeon. Okay, let's see if it's available today. Grabbing the leg. Oh. And gently release. Changing sides, just fall onto that right hip. Swing the left leg in front of you. Lean onto that left hip. Right leg goes behind. Same thing. Find the spot that feels sustainable for you to stay for a couple of breaths. Tuck that back toes in order to square the hips towards the front of the mat. Maybe flexing the front toes of that leg. And coming into whatever variation of the pigeon you would like on this side. Keep in mind that you don't have to make equal shapes to the left and the right, simply because we use them in a very uneven way to begin with. Everybody has a more dominant side, or at least most people. And so if we use our dominant side more than the non-dominant, why in yoga should we try to equalize them since they're not equal in our everyday life? With yoga, we try to achieve balance, a union between the opposites, and so each opposite has its different needs. Optional twist, if you did that the first time, sending that right hand towards the left hand towards the sky, maybe find that foot on the back, maybe you even are able to grab the toes, opening the left shoulder. Also, our sides carry injuries and our body remembers all of them. As much as we have taken care of them, it's inevitable that our body is like, I remember what happened on that left ankle or that right knee. And so maybe it tries to protect itself. One last deep breath in here. And coming back to center and twist. And then up. Take the variation of that back leg front thigh stretch that you took that first side. Or of course, as we were talking, try to find the variation that works on this side. Our bodies are built isometrically. We have our heart on the left, our liver on the right. How is this any symmetrical? Maybe you can try for the deep back bend here if it wasn't available on the other side. I know a lot of people that can access the splits one side and the other not, so let's embrace these differences. Let's see, how do we feel today here? Oh, nice. Gently releasing and sitting back. Swing the legs forward. All right, couple last stretches. That right knee comes towards the chest, left shoulder tucks in front of it, and let's try to bind. This is of course optional. If this is not acceptable to you, just try to hold it active. Or have a towel or a strap, anything. I've heard that it can be a nasty pose for injuries if your shoulder is not ready to enter here. So listen to your body. Coming back to center. That right leg is gonna fall to the side. Right knee is gonna fall to the side. Hands up and forward on top of that left leg. Now that right knee is gonna fall to the side, finding that space between the legs. Left hand finds a place around the foot or the block or the ground, and making a rainbow with the right hand on top of you. Final side body stretch. Grabbing your toes here is absolutely not mandatory, not here, not ever. As long as you feel the same benefits, the same juicy opening to that side of the body. And now as you're bent to the side, just start rotating your body forward, leaning on top of that extended leg. Breathing deep. Maybe your hands find the calf. Just really focus on that extension of the back body and not rounding. Try to hinge from the hips. Try to imagine that I'm holding my finger on your crown and you're trying to reach it. Reach it. Perfect. Coming back to center. Let's change the sides. Left knee towards the chest. That right left knee towards the chest. That left shoulder sneaks in front of it. And maybe we find the bind. You can be here. This is also pretty hard. I find that when the bind is not accessible and we just have to hang in the air, there's so much more work because now the two hands are holding onto each other, supporting each other. But when we have to be active, it's even harder. So don't try to label it as easier or harder or cooler or any of those things. Just really embrace that you're doing more work if you're reaching without that grasp. Perfect. Slowly releasing, allowing that left knee to fall onto the ground, finding that space between the legs. Right hand finds its comfortable position, left comes on top of us into a rainbow. And breathing into that left side body. Using the gravity to pull our body down. But don't allow it to collapse. Looking down, no, open it generously towards the sky. Finding the differences between left and right as always. Surrendering into the earth. Grounding into your heartbeat. Now just twisting the body on top of that right leg. Bowing down to your body in gratitude for this beautiful practice today, for showing up on the mat. Try to send that crown of the head closer, not the chin, the crown. Just lengthening the back side of the body. And slowly coming back to center. Let's lie down on our backs. Let's take a classical or not so classical twist. You can always just bring one knee towards the chest and twist. If you'd like, you can try to bind the legs into ego, sending them to one side, and then we're going to switch directions. So don't worry too much about left and right. Changing direction, we're still keeping the same bind of the legs. and just experimenting. Usually I like to twist towards the side of the bottom leg, so the top leg can be really heavy. But there is also an interesting sensation when we switch the sides, coming back to center, changing that bind. If you can double bind, obviously be my guest. Picking one side for the knees to fall to. We took a lot of twists in this class, but it's always nice to finish with this grounding twist, to allow the blood to find the last spots, changing the sides, the last spots in which it needs to go to nourish. Coming back to center, let's take one last happy baby. We did also some hip opening, so let's seal it, let's feel it. This happy baby is such a funny pose. Makes you feel so ridiculous, but it's great. And releasing into Savasana. Really encourage you to take at least 2 minutes. Just if you have to set the timer for these 2 minutes. And even if your mind cannot relax, even if your eyes cannot close, it's a slow process of teaching the body that it's safe to rest, that it's safe to spend 2 minutes, no more, in absolute silence. To allow the blood to soak into all the cells of our bodies, to nourish them with that fresh energy we just created. To allow the breath and the heartbeat to slow down. To feel the weight on your body onto the mat, towards the ground. For the nervous system to take a big sigh out. Stay here for as long as you need. Thank you for joining me for your practice today, and I'll see you next time.